in a 1913 Metz. Welcome to Jason Drives. Yeah! This is a 1913 Metz. You probably aren't that familiar with this car because this was one of the many cars that was killed by the success of the Model T early in the 20th century, which is sort of a shame because it's actually a really clever little car. In modern driving, it probably doesn't make a lot of sense and it's probably pretty deeply weird, but if you think about it in the context of the time, it becomes really, really clever and really impressive. You could buy it on an installment plan and get pieces of it sent to you that you put together. It's also full of really clever engineering that, while it may not make a lot of sense in modern traffic and modern times, if you think about it in the context of the era, it becomes really, really clever. I'd like to learn a lot more about this car, so we're going to talk to one of the co-owners, Paul Greenstein, and of course his dog Harpo, and we're going to learn all kinds of interesting things about this car. So the Metz is full of clever and interesting technical details, so I've got Paul here to maybe walk me through some of these. What are some interesting things this car has?
And actually I'm going to ignore you and start with what it doesn't have.
Even better.
Yeah. To our modern minds, this isn't even really a car. Obviously it doesn't have a starter.
Yeah.
This is your starter.
Right.
It doesn't have electric lights.
Right.
So you don't need a generator.
Right.
It doesn't have a battery.
Right.
It barely has an oil pump. It doesn't have a water pump. It doesn't have a fuel pump because that's gravity.
Yeah. What does it have?
Well, it does have an engine. That's a good start. That's a good start.
Now this engine looks familiar. Why is that?
This was designed by the same folks that designed the Model T. So this is basically a Model T engine to a point where Model T parts will fit on this car.
Wow.
Carburetor,
okay.
head gasket.
Yep.
But once again, if you look, it's missing a transmission.
Oh yeah.
It has a fan.
It's empty. There's a fan and a shaft going back. So,
correct. Correct.
All right, so we need to know how the motions of this engine turn into motions of the car.
Let's go around the back and I'll open it up and show it to you.
Okay. So I'm very excited to show you and have Paul show you the drivetrain of this thing, the final drive, because it's so simple and so basic and absolutely fascinating. So, Paul, we're looking at two discs here,
yeah,
perpendicular to each other. What's going on?
It's almost so simple that it's hard to wrap your mind around the simplicity. Essentially, the big disc is the engine.
So the engine's spinning that.
The engine's spinning, and it's a big aluminum plate, and then you have a paper pulley.
Paper.
It's called.
Why paper?
Paper grips.
Yeah.
Paper doesn't really burn. Paper is somewhat compressible, but it's also very hard.
So that's layers of paper sandwiched really tight. Okay.
Correct. It's a bunch of discs. And let me show you how this works.
Yeah, okay. So we got...
To give you an idea. This is the quote-unquote transmission lever.
There we go.
See,
yes.
Goes back and forth.
So this is a CVT, a continuously variable transmission, but it's a manual continuously variable transmission, which of course to modern ears sounds crazy. But the way it works is when this disc is closer to the center, you're in a lower gear to get started, higher torque, lower speed. As you move it out to the edge, higher speed, lower torque, higher gear.
Right. If you go all the way to the right, you're on the other side of the center, you're in reverse.
You're in reverse because it's going the other way. It's, oh God, it's so simple and so clever. I can't wait to drive this thing.
Oh, it'll be fun.
Always wanted to drive a manual CVT. The best way to go for a drive is with a running car. To have a running car, you have to start the car, and on the Metz, that means using a crank. So let's see how that's done. Paul, what do I do here?
So you want to basically get right in front of the damn thing.
Yeah.
Find a good spot on the détente.
Okay.
There's a little clip. Now see what I'm doing is I'm coming at it right, because I'm right-handed.
Yeah.
Straight on.
Oh man, that's tough. Okay, hold on.
It's not that hard.
Let's see.
You have to just pump with the engine. It's a Zen experience.
Whoa, kick back. All right. Come on.
Do we need to have a real man do it?
Maybe. All right. I'm fine with that. All right, so I'm going to explain what's going on here in the driving process of this Metz. It's weird. It's not like anything else. So what I'm basically doing, my throttle's being adjusted with this lever here. You can hear it go up and down a little. I have a center pedal here that is used to engage the main drive belt to this CVT style transmission. And so I've got little notches on the engagement pedal that I can just kind of set. It's like you're always in some kind of cruise control in a way. It's a very different process than driving a Model T. It's still weird, but I'm gonna argue a little better. I feel like my feet are definitely more at ease than I ever was in the Model T. Model T forces your legs at weird angles. This, they're not even doing anything once everything's set. And if I want to increase
if you want to increase it, you take it out of gear.
Or take it out of gear.
Pull the lever back.
So I'll pull it back to slightly higher gear
again,
and then put it back in,
faster.
and now I can go a little faster.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna do another little quick spin in the Metz, and it's all still very, very weird, but I think I've got the hang of it a little better. I really like driving this thing, but it's so foreign. Everything about it just feels weird. Like right now I want to slow down a little, so I'm taking this center. It's not even really a pedal because it has notches and detents. It's like a lever you set in position, and you're just constantly adjusting it or getting in positions where you don't have to adjust it. It's all so strange. And you have two brakes, like a hard brake and a soft brake. And now I'm gonna try to take this turn, and I've got to be ready. Okay, I'm not really gonna stop in the turn. I'm gonna slow down a little, but I'm just gonna turn here, and I'm gonna push this in. I'm gonna give it a little more throttle to get up this hill, and push this in more so we get more tension, and there we go. And look, it's working. Holy crap, it's working, and it sounds weird. We got the buzzing of the chain. Everything's just so much stranger. You have to do the right amount. There's like a combination of too much throttle makes the wheels slip against each other, and then too little, you're not really gonna go anywhere. So there's a real dance between throttle and how hard you're shoving those wheels together, and that's before you even get into what gear range you're actually in. It's just a lot to think about. All right, so after driving this Metz around a little bit here and kind of learning the strange way that it actually works, I think I've decided I actually kind of like it. It's not a horrible car. I think that's the takeaway here. So Paul, thanks for letting me drive your not horrible car.
Well, thank you.
And if any of you out there are looking for a not horrible car, consider a Metz. Come on.
Do we need to have a real man do it?